Hi, my name is Janice Raffel. This is Joe Hansen. He's with RGS Title. And come visit our house. Today, Joe's going to be talking about the differences between the MAR and the regional contract.
We are talking about the differences between the MAR contract and the GCAAR contract. Just want to talk a couple of general thoughts that I have about them. One is, don't forget that there are two contracts in the state of Maryland. One, again, the MAR, which is used throughout all of the jurisdictions in the state, and one is the GCAAR, which is used mainly in the DC metropolitan area, so mainly Montgomery County and PG County. So if depending on where you're using the contracts, do not mix and match the form. So if you're using the GCAAR contract, please use all the GCAAR addenda and notices and things like that. And the same thing with the MAR. Use all the appropriate MAR addenda because they are different, as we're going to go through. So the first thing I want to point out is that the calculation of timeframes are different. So whether it's a deadline where you have to respond by, or it's going to be a property condition thing, MAR, the deadlines, the timeframes start on the date of contract acceptance, which MAR defines as the date when the last party signs all of the appropriate documents. GCAAR, everything really starts at the date of ratification. Ratification is execution and delivery is defined within the GCAAR contract, so please be mindful of those. The second thing is financing. The financing is a little different in both contracts. The MAR talks about it in paragraph 10. They both have financing contingencies, by the way, financing addenda. But the MAR paragraph 10, the buyer has a negotiated time period in which to apply for financing. And if the buyer doesn't obtain the written commitment within another negotiated time frame, the seller can void the contract. In the GCAAR, it's paragraph 14 and also the separate financing contingency. The buyer has 7 days to apply for financing. And in the financing contingency, it explains that if the buyer does not deliver a conditional commitment to the seller can void within a certain, by the deadline, whether that's 20 days or 21 days, it's negotiated by the parties. A third difference in the contracts, the MAR, for the wood destroying insects, MAR is paragraph 19. The seller is required to make any repairs up to 2% of the purchase price. So if the estimate of costs associated with the repairs is above 2%, it becomes a negotiated item for the parties, in which case the contract may void out. As opposed to the GCAAR, which is paragraph 12, the seller has to perform all of the work and all of the repairs. There is no limit and there is no cap as far as the seller repair. It could be more than 2%. The seller does have to repair all of the wood destroying, all of the things associated with the wood destroying insect report. Property condition is another difference. MAR is paragraph 22. It is as of date of contract acceptance. Again, we've already talked about that. All of the timelines basically start at contract acceptance for MAR. GCAAR is paragraph 7. It's as of a negotiated date. Normally, it is going to be the date of home inspection, but it can be date of contract, date of offer, date of settlement. That's a negotiated date, but MAR does have the contract acceptance. Please note too that both contracts are now as is. That was a recent change as of a couple of years ago. Finally, there's a paragraph in both about disputes. The MAR is paragraph 35. It requires the parties to go through mediation. But GCAAR actually, it talks about disputes, but it's silent as far as mediation. So actually it allows the party, it does not require mediation, so the parties can go to mediation. They can go right to court, at which point the prevailing party under either MAR or GCAAR, the prevailing party, is awarded attorney's fees. So those are the main differences in the main bodies of the contract, and we will go over the different addenda on a different time, but those are really the main differences between the contracts. If you're working with them in Montgomery County, the Montgomery County jurisdictional addendum to the MAR really makes them very, very similar. There are still some differences, such as the wood destroying insects and the dispute paragraph or the mediation requirement but by and large in Montgomery County, both contracts are really similar. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting, and again, if you are working throughout different jurisdictions in the state of Maryland, you do have to be aware of these differences.
So thank you for visiting our house today. We look forward to seeing you soon.